What's up, y'all? Happy Friday and welcome back to another vlog.
You in the past, I'm in the future. You mad that they don't salute you. I need a bag.
Thank you so much for clicking on this video. If you're new here, my name is Keela Trishawn and I make videos on lifestyle, insurance, and mental health. I also do vlogs, day in the life in the insurance industry, day in the life of a small child, all the things. If that's something that interests you, go on ahead and click that subscribe button below. Turn on your notifications so you don't miss anything from me. And if you're returning, thank you so much for coming back and thank you for your support. All right, y'all. So it has been like a couple of weeks since I posted. By the time this video goes live, it will have been 2 weeks. So I just needed a little break. It's been kind of crazy at work, and sorry, y'all. I'm just now logging on, and all of my applications and stuff are opening up. So forgive me if it seems like my attention is elsewhere. But basically, I have been just trying to get these claims in order. Like, if y'all have been watching the vlogs, you know, I've been fighting for my sanity, okay? Like, it's been crazy. You know, we're at a point in the claims where we're getting into a lot of fights with some folks. And I'm being dramatic when I say fights. At least for me, some of my coworkers have me get into fights, but some people just like they refuse to start unless we agree to rebuild them a new home when they don't need a rebuilt home. And then you've got some folks that are, you know, they're done, they're home, and the only thing that they're waiting for is contents. Then I've got other people that have decided to sue. So I have like active lawsuits on claims and active, just like litigation on some of these claims. And it's not necessarily against me. So that's why I'm not freaking out. If it was like a bunch of people, you know, suing because of me, then I'd be, you know, upset. But a lot of these claims were transferred to me. So I'm just kind of like handling them until we close them out. But I've got customers coming with like some weird situations and weird things that we need to review. So I will say that although it is like a tough spot to be in, I have never learned as much with claims as I have with these particular claims. Like, it's been such like high level stuff, like things that people don't deal with unless they are in large loss. Mind you, I handle very high level claims. So I'm not like a new adjuster by any means, but I'm also not handling large loss, general loss type, you know, claims. I'm handling like, you know, pretty sizable ones, but not quite large loss. These claims though, bruh, I'm talking about like some of these claims are up in the millions, okay? And with that said, it's just been a lot to wrap my head around, which is why I kind of had to take a little, like, quick little hiatus just to get my life together with these claims and then come back. But as I was telling you before, I wanted to film and show you guys kind of like what a day in the life looks like on each day of the week. I think I still need to do like a Thursday. I don't think I've done a Thursday or a Wednesday. One of those days I'm missing, but since today's Friday, I figure I'll show y'all how I close out the week. Now, today might be a little different. It's possible that I might be going to pick up my niece. I don't know yet. We'll just kind of see how my workload goes. So if I do that, I'll take you guys with me, you know, to pick up the kids. Because if I pick her up, I'll likely pick up my son as well. But yeah, so I'm just logging on. See that I got some emails. Today is my 3-year anniversary with this company. So I got a couple of nice emails and, you know, looks like a card from the company or whatever. So that's nice. And then I've got a couple of focused emails where people are asking me questions. So I need to address those. It's items that I already know they're talking about. Like one of them is just a confirmation. The other one, this lady's asking me for, it's an agent and she's asking me for an update on the customer's claim. And then let's see, I just logged into my desktop and okay, my work is there. All right. So I don't have too much planned for today. I do that on purpose. I try to, you know, give each day some dedicated claims so I'm not extremely overwhelmed. But let me go on ahead and, you know, start tackling these emails and I will be back in a little bit to let you guys know what's happening. All right, y'all. So I had to move and do this clip because it was so dark like where I normally film, like right by my laptop. I had to like stand up and stand in front of my patio door. And here's the thing, the light isn't even that good right here, but it's better than what it was over there. So anyway, I hope this helps. I'll try to fix it in editing. But I've been logged on for about an hour now. I was able to answer those emails that I got pretty quickly. So the agent, I just gave her an updated statement of loss and provided her with a status on the claim. She just wanted to know like what's taken place since the last time we talked. She kind of like reaches out every month on this particular claim. So went on ahead and gave her the information that she needs. And then there was a gentleman that works for an HVAC company. I needed him to go out and do an inspection, basically a comparable inspection for this claim that is in litigation. But they reached out to me yesterday and they said that they were able to access one of the HVAC units, but the other one is on the roof and they need a special ladder. So they were like, well, do you want us to go back out and still inspect it? Or do you want us to just give you a report on the HVAC system that we were able to inspect? So, you know, they say there's no such thing as a stupid question, but if I asked you to inspect the full HVAC system, I kind of need a report for the full HVAC system. Also, I gave them specific notes letting them know that this claim is kind of sensitive because of, you know, the litigation. So yeah, I need y'all to go back and I need you to inspect the full HVAC system. I need you to get on the roof too. So please accept this email as my approval. So that's taken care of. Basically today, since it's Friday, y'all know, if you have been following me, I've been preaching this like a lot. I try to set up my week to where the most work is done on Monday and then it trickles down to the end of the week. Now, sometimes it doesn't always work that way. Some days Monday might be a slow day and then Tuesday ends up being busy, or Wednesday, and so on and so forth. Hell, even Friday can be busy. But the way I try to work everything out, especially right now while I'm not getting new claims all the time, I try to make sure that I work on the most heavy tasks in the beginning of the week and then I just kind of trickle down to the end. Now today, I do have a few things that I need to address. I'm waiting for a vendor to get back to me on questions about their scope of work. So they have some items that we don't necessarily agree with, but I'm not the adjuster to just tell you no. Tell me why you need to remove this portion of flooring. Tell me why you feel like this cabinet needs to be torn out. Let me know why, because maybe I can work with you. If it does make sense, then maybe I can make something happen. So I'm waiting for that vendor to get back to me, because hopefully if I get a response back, I can send that for approval today. And then I will get approval by maybe Monday or Tuesday so I can get that off my desk. Also, there is an internal document that we need to complete. It's basically like how do I explain it? It's like our goals, I guess. So they want us to kind of like solidify our goals and, you know, put it in writing. So I need to work on that today because it's due by Monday. And, you know, of course I'm doing it last minute, but I want to get it done today and not be trying to scramble to get it done on Monday because I think it's due by end of business day. So anyways, yeah, let me go ahead and drink my coffee and get back to work. But I just wanted to kind of give you guys an idea of what's going on. I'm probably gonna just do some dedicated work time for the next like 2 hours. I like to take breaks so I can stand up and walk around and stuff, but dedicated work for 2 hours, and I'll come back and let you guys know what is taking place during that time and then what is left to get done before lunch. So I'll see y'all soon. All right, you guys, so I'm taking a quick little break because I have to fill y'all in on what's going on, and I also need a snack. But I meant to film this call that I had about 20 minutes ago. So one of my customers, we're almost done with her claim. She's really, really sweet, like probably one of the sweetest customers I've ever had. And she's super efficient. You know, she's like, hey, can we schedule like a 10 to 15 minute call? It won't be long. Girl, yes, we can absolutely do that. So she just had a couple of questions about her payments. Like she was concerned that she had to pay her deductible twice. Mind you, her deductible is expensive, like $5,000. And I was like, I promise you I did not take $10,000 from you. But we kind of like went over the payments. I sent her a check summary to show her everything that has gone through. And she did ask me for like a favor, which I don't mind doing. When you're nice to me, I don't mind going above and beyond. Like I will set aside the time to take care of you. So she asked me to prepare like a separate check summary that shows like all of her dwelling payments, all of her personal property payments, and all of her loss of use payments. This is not something that is required for us to do. And she was really sweet about it. She was like, if it's not too much trouble, The thing is, it's not really that much trouble. It's just, you know, I don't really have the time. But I told her, I was like, I can actually get that done for you. Don't even trip. Like, just give me until Tuesday or Wednesday of next week, and I'll get that taken care of. So we were good. Call was like 8 minutes, and we were done. Now, this other customer, he is kind of getting under my skin, you know, but it's fine because I know how to handle people like this. So the one thing about me is that, and I'm sure I've said this in different videos before because it's something that I stand by. Before I go back and forth with somebody, I have receipts, right? So when I'm talking to you, I know exactly what I'm talking about, and I have the documentation to prove it and to back it up. Now, I'm the type of adjuster where if we owe it, we owe it. I'm not gonna fight you on, you know, small stuff. I'm not gonna go back and forth with you on big stuff. If we owe it, we owe it. I will do the proper investigation and I will fight to make sure that it goes in your favor. Now, if it's something that we don't owe, we just simply don't owe it. And no amount of you trying to swindle or, you know, coerce or whatever is going to work. Also, I'm not to be bullied, you know, and people for some reason think they can like bully adjusters, whatever. Not everybody, but sometimes. This is an attorney, so, you know, I don't know. Maybe he thinks he has a gift of gab. I don't know. But basically, his vendor submitted an estimate for mitigation cost. Now, they submitted an estimate several months ago that was like half the price of this. This is fine. This customer has lead contamination and some other heavy metals, so I understand that the line item and scope are going to go up. This is fine. The problem is that they are trying to remove some flooring. Now, the reason why this is key, the flooring is continuous throughout the house. And from what it looks like in the photos, it's either an engineered or a laminate. I'm leaning towards engineered. What that means, and I'm gonna do a video about repair versus replace soon, so I can kind of give you guys like a deep dive into this. But basically, we are under the impression, after all of the inspections that we've done and all of the like investigating that we've done, that the flooring is not damaged. And there is like a small area that shows damage, but it's not damaged from the wildfire. This vendor is trying to remove flooring in like 3 rooms. Now, the issue with that is that if they remove this flooring that's not damaged, we are likely going to have to replace it all because it's continuous. So before I commit to that and before I can argue for that, I need to understand why you guys are trying to remove this flooring when the information that we have says that the flooring is not damaged. It would just simply need to be cleaned. So I send the questions to the vendor. They CC the insured on their correspondence with me, so I did a reply all, which CC'd them. Now, the wife responds and she gives me some answers to the questions, which makes sense. She's like, I'll give the vendor a chance to respond, but here is the information I have. It was actually helpful. And I said, thank you so much. We're still going to have to wait for the vendor to reply, but I'll note the file. The husband responds not long after, and he says, oh, your approved vendor actually recommended that these floors be removed. So just an FYI. Now, I've reviewed this file back and front, up and down, side to side, and I never saw anything about the floors being removed. So because I don't speak before I have all the information, I go back to the estimate that he's talking about and the report. I pull up both things. I read it front to back to front, side to side, and I don't see no mention of them removing any floors because he wanted to basically say like, oh, your vendor, you know, said that it needs to be removed. So basically like a kind of a nudge, like going ahead and remove my floors. So I respond back, reply all. And I was like, yeah, no, I'm looking at the report right now and they don't mention anything about removing the wood floors. I will wait for your vendor to respond back and then we'll go from there. So that being said, this isn't the first time that this customer has kind of said something that wasn't quite accurate. And now I'm starting to see a pattern, which leads me to believe that you're saying things because you want things to go your way. I gave them a very in-depth, look into what we look at as adjusters and what the policy covers. And I told them straight up, like, if it's something that makes sense and, you know, our experts agree and it's something we can prove, then I have no problem taking care of you. But if not, it's just not going to be covered. And with this, because we don't believe it's damaged, we need to understand your vendor's reasoning. But in his mind, he's just like, just pay it. No, boo, we're not just going to pay it. We're not just going to pay it. We need clarification. And I'm more apt now because he's doing that, I'm more apt to deny it. Not because I want to be an asshole, but because I'm getting the feeling that there's some funny stuff going on that I can't quite prove. But it's like, if it walks like a duck, talks like a duck, like it's not making sense. I don't think we owe this. So waiting for the vendor to respond back so I can go on ahead and submit my written report and see if these additional costs are going to be approved and go from there. But anyways, I am currently in a calorie deficit and I'm hungry as hell. So I'm going to try to find myself something that is not that many calories that can take me to lunchtime. So I'll go ahead and do that. And then I'm going to get back to just, dealing with these files and bringing things to at least some type of resolution for the week. And I'll get back with y'all. I'm picking up my niece and son today, so that is going to take me away from my desk for a little bit. But yeah, I'll be back at some point to, let y'all know what's happening and what has transpired since this last clip. All right, you guys. So I just made myself a sandwich, turkey and cheese, and I just grilled it a little bit. And then I took some of the boys' chips. I'm sure he'll be fine. Why would he not want to share with his mom? So it's actually a little before lunchtime, and I'm purposely eating before because I'm trying to film on my lunch break. I don't know if that's going to happen. We shall see, but I'm really trying to, get back on track. Anyways, so a vendor that I send out to inspect my insured's HVAC system just got back to me with the report. So I think I was telling you guys about one earlier today where I needed them to go back and do an inspection of the roof HVAC system, since it's like there's two different systems. So not that one. This one is one that I sent out for a comparable bid. So my insured submitted an estimate for replacement of their HVAC system. And I had our vendor go out to confirm if replacement is actually warranted or if a cleaning would suffice. So they submitted an estimate looks like for cleaning only. So I'm going to go on ahead and review it and then summarize the details and all that. And then I'll let the insured know basically that we do have to, here's the thing. People want their things like, people want their items to be replaced, but we do have to see if we can repair it first. Now, what I tell the insured, so they don't think that we are trying to get over on them, because it's not that. It's just the policy says that we have to try to repair. So people think that we're trying to underpay them, but really what it is if it can be repaired, why would we pay for replacement? It's just like if you didn't have a claim, if you can repair something as opposed to replacing it, you would do that. It's the same thing with us. So I always tell people like, hey, we do have to attempt cleaning first. And if the system doesn't pass clearance or, there are any issues where something can't be cleaned, like, the vendors get to working and they realize that they can't reach certain components and things like that, then we can revisit like opening the scope. But right now, a cleaning should be tried. So I'm going to go on ahead and just, like I said, review and summarize. I'll send this over to him, let him know, and then just give him that disclaimer that if the cleaning does not work, then we can move towards open. I always say opening the scope because opening the scope doesn't necessarily mean replacement, but if we get to a point where we've done all we can and there's no other remedy than replacing, then that's what we'll do. So, yes. Anyway, that's probably the last thing. It's going to take me probably about 30 minutes or so to review this, and I have about 30 minutes before I actually have to clock out for lunch. So I'm going to go on ahead, eat my food because I'm starving, and then I will review this, and I'll get back to you guys in a little while. Hi, and I am an adjuster that's working on some of the wildfire claims from Palisades and Eaton. I have a claim and wanted to see if you'd be able to assist with a comparable estimate for a chimney report. We have an insured that submitted a report saying that the chimney needed to be completely torn down and rebuilt, and we want to just confirm that and see if cleaning could be tried first. You could give me a call back and let me know if you service that area, and then I'd be more than happy to email over the information. Thank you so much. All right, you guys. So I just made a call to this chimney company that my supervisor provided. I'm trying to get a chimney inspection for this customer that submitted an estimate well, not even an estimate, just a report saying that his chimney needs to be completely torn down and rebuilt due to damages that occurred during the wildfire. It's no like burn damage, but the home is contaminated with lead and some other heavy metals. So the report is basically saying that due to like some of the components being like out of reach and them not able to I guess access them to clean them, it would make more sense to tear it down and rebuild it. When we have claims like that, we do need to kind of do our due diligence and send out an expert to do an investigation to determine if this is actually correct or if we can attempt cleaning first before we move to completely replacing. So I called the vendor, left a message, let him know to call me back. The way I see it is I could send him over the assignment, but it's no point if he can't service the area. So I'm waiting for him to reach back out. And if he can service that area, then I will go on ahead and send him the information and we can go from there. I just got back from lunch a little bit ago and I didn't have any new things on my desk, thank God. I try to stay on top of my desk so I don't have a lot of like new things coming in on lunch, unless I'm waiting for a response. But let's see. So I have about like an hour or so before I need to leave and go get the children. So I'm going to finish up that review I was telling you about the HVAC system. I completed the review before lunch, but I need to note the file and prepare a payment letter and send that to the insured along with payment instructions and just let him know that we're going to do this for now. And then if we need to increase the scope, we can do that. I think I kind of discussed that in detail prior to lunch. So I don't want to bore you guys with talking about it again. So I'm going to go ahead and finish that up. And then let me see what else is on my desktop for today. Okay. So the insurer that I'm working with, he reached out to me yesterday. The one that I'm doing the HVAC review on. So he reached out to me yesterday asking for an update because we're also waiting for a comparable estimate from one of our vendors. His vendor prepared a repair estimate and some of the things we just don't owe. Like I know we don't owe them, but I'm pretty sure that we can update our estimate to kind of get us closer in line to what his vendor is charging. So we're having our contractor prepare an estimate, but they needed some additional documents from his contractor in order to complete their portion. So they sent those over yesterday. And then also this gentleman has run out of limits on his loss of use. Well, in this case, it's a landlord policy. So he was collecting loss of rent. So he's run out of that. So we just basically issued the remaining funds, which was like a couple $100. So there's that. Like it's not really much else for me to do on this one. It's just a matter of getting the HVAC system addressed and then getting the additional funds for his repairs taken care of, and then he will be good to go. It's just going to be a matter of him getting his stuff together, but I'll likely be able to close this file after we get that information. So I'm going to work on that, and then I haven't gotten a response back on the other big claim that I was working on, but I did get a contents estimate back for one of my insureds, and I'm going to work on getting the final payment, final supplement done on that one. So hopefully I can get that approved by early next week, and then I can send him an email letting him know that payment is on the way. So yeah, that's what I got going on. So I'll get back with you guys probably at some point when I'm with the kids. I usually take them to get Starbucks and then drop my niece home. So yeah, I'll be around. All right, y'all. So we just dropped off Niecy Poo, got the boy, and now we're headed back to the house to finish out the workday. So I'm gonna make up my shift and let you guys know where we ended the day. All right, you guys. So I've been a terrible vlogger today because I literally kept forgetting that I was vlogging. So my bad for not coming back, and excuse him. He just wanted to be in the video. So right now we are kneeling. So, he can be visible. Anyways, when I got back from dropping off my niece, all I really did was move my activities to the next day. Whoa. Almost fell backwards. I moved my activities to Monday and Tuesday. I got most of what I needed to get done. Like there wasn't really that much to do. I reviewed that HVAC report that I told you guys about and got that customer his payment and all that jazz. And I'm just waiting for him to let me know if he is going to use the vendor or if he's going to use his own vendor. So that's pretty much it. Everything else is a Monday issue. So what's wrong with you? Hey. If you enjoyed this vlog, definitely go on ahead and give me a thumbs up. It really helps with YouTube algorithm. If you haven't already subscribed, go on ahead and click that subscribe button below. Turn on your notifications so you don't miss anything from me. That being said, you guys have an amazing day, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
You mad? They don't salute you. I need a bag, size is super. They turned your back, it's like I never knew you. Leave that.